Did Crystal Maiden turn into a lifesteal and infest into someone? Because I literally, generally didn't see her. It's like maybe you have to get a new.
I think
Batrider
had Aghanim Scepter, and then she was in the side cart of the bat. Isn't that how that works? Oh wait,
the
Gyrocopter. Side gunner.
The Gyrocopter is the one. But yeah, with that right back, gold graph should be back towards the 0 line. Actually, just a little bit above it now. I think they can now on the docks here. That's gonna be huge. Still has to get
does have a Midas. What? Sorry, I think I was pinging it. Sark had a Midas. Caster.
Yeah, okay, that's like
classic.
Should be doing it, but yeah, Sark had a Midas for a long time.
Do you see that? Just walks up. This is something you'll see some bounty hunters do. They just carry tangos the whole game because it's not really an Iron Talon hero, but you still want to be able to immediately take down wards. And it helps out when you're just roaming around. You don't really buy Tranquil Boots, obviously. You have a mech, but a little bit clowny, right?
Yep.
Tangos at like 40 minutes you'll see sometimes.
Only in very specific circumstances. But yeah, one other thing that I want to point out. Bounty, yeah. They do catch Yol. Bounty Hunter now, the last of J4 in the back. Yol, not quite. Yeah, needs one more right click there, but don't quite have it. Now the RP onto 3 heroes right there with Goddamn with the extra damage from the cleave. Don't quite get the damage zone now. That's Cheshire Cat going down as well. It's only the Batrider dying to this. I expected that to do more, honestly. That's just the attack speed not quite there yet for Slark. That's not just guarding now though, so he's gonna have to slow. He's looking for one, he's looking for a pick off. Maybe farming greedily. This Chaos Knight there does not have his ultimate. Barely enough mana for a Reality Rift, but it does also have a heart. That's a lot of health points to chew through.
They have like 2 heroes that set up mega fights, and typically they're not really often seen on the same lineup, right? It's usually either Darkseer or Magnus, not often together. This is kind of like this whole Puck Faceless Void discussion we have a lot of the time, where they both offer amazing control, but when it comes to overall damage, it's really not that great. Like, Wall doesn't actually do that much damage in fights unless it's against really good heroes to make your copies of. I mean, you copy a Crystal Maiden, a Batrider, and a Bounty Hunter, it's not going to do anything. You just get initial damage of them going through the wall. It's basically the same initial damage of an RP. It's not that crazy. You're looking at heroes like an Earthshaker, right? Like, he gets in there, he does his ultimate, and you're like, boom, thank you, Vacuum, thank you, Magnus. And in this case, goddamn, he needs to have maximum cleave going and a lot of attack speed, as you just said.
Oh, Yol. This time no dust, though. We'll be fine. There's a Radiant Sentry here on the river. There's also more help coming for F5, so... Oh, man. Who's actually ahead right now? What do you think? I mean, Slark, obviously, with almost 14k net worth just in the back of the Midas, he's farming very, very well. But... how is Favos doing well enough, is my question.
I would say yes. Simply because Chaos Knight is one of these heroes that I think just by default kind of wins the game at a certain point. Especially when he has a heart and an armlet at 26 minutes. Holy, I did not notice he was building that.
Yep.
My god, that is... how they can't kill Havost. I don't think he's going to die for the rest of the game. I'm just going to say that now. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I actually don't think he's going to die.
Duel comes out. It was a big mistake, actually. Even with the Blade Mail, they do get the damage in. On to Bignum. Nice little vacuum. Havost doing some work. J4 will fall first. The RP onto Arman. Drops immediately in Vos. Well, he just said they can't kill him. Evidently, they can. BZZ. He's spreading flames, but he's forced to blink into the trees and TP out. This is the kind of fight that I expected to happen a bit earlier there near the top rune spot.
Did I misread that vision? Did they not see them coming in?
I don't know. I don't think they did. I'm not sure if they were smoked up or anything, but it's got a really good angle.
Well, that fight didn't go how I was expecting.
But it's just
like, you look at all this control, you don't expect them to have that much damage, especially when you're so close to the fight.
BZ almost got skewered in. He's looking for the steal. He gets around, Bignum dropping low, same for Cheshire Cat. He can actually finish the Roshan. There's a blink in again. He's just being super annoying. Cheshire Cat, he's tracked up. He almost would have died to sure if there was just enough mana for Yol. Speaking of Yol, goodbye. Just it's a free one, freebie after Roshan. So Slark now with the Aegis, absolutely stacked. It's also that maybe that little bit of a panic duel. I mean, PR initiate on Ghostic. Ghostic turns around, just says like, "All right, whatever, blade mail, it'll be fine." But then suddenly there's everyone. Slark is the only one doing damage. Bignum with a couple of impetus shots, making sure that you bring down Legion Commander quickly enough. So that's now an extra dual damage going the way of Goddamn. You have to be so careful about giving that away.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
It feels like it's been a while since they've been like actually winning a fight single. I guess convincingly would be the term. I haven't really felt like Fantastic Five been able to get their thing going, and it really does come down to these big vacuums in RPs. And as long as those keep, happening, of course, then you can certainly imagine how PR are going to bring this game home. But
J4 is committing for this here. The links are there. RP to follow up. Need a little bit more damage. That's the impetus. And yeah, that should be enough. Okay, then let's go back. Big commitment, but definitely worth it once again. Now, what's happening here? Goddamn. Ghostic just steeping out. Kinda has to at this point. And this is the point where PR are feeling very well. They got the momentum going for themselves. They got a Slark who's very hard to deal with even. Despite all this lockdown that F5 technically have to try and deal with him. Just starting to lack the damage here. The Scouty just stacking him up quite a bit. The division from the constant charge throughs as well from J4.
yeah, it's very similar to last game. The fact that BZZ just kind of got out of control in terms of his shackles, his overall farm, and well, Slark, he's the hero that gets the most out of control of them all. He's like the definition of the snowball hero. Someone who gets a nice early start, gets that Midas, and I really can't think of any other hero that does this well in terms of like kills and scaling into those next big items. You talked about attack speed. Well, there is one way to snag it up, of course. The Moonshard's so ridiculously early. No BKB. No BKB required. That is so sick with his cleave.
It is so good, not just with the cleave, but with Slark in general, right? I mean, the faster you hit, the more SL shift stacks you get more quickly, which means more damage, more armor, and also, obviously, even more attack speed. So it's like, how long these fights go, well, Magnet, not gonna help you.
It's also worth mentioning just how ridiculous cleave is on the Slark, because he doesn't build damage items most of the time, right? He builds stats like in the Scotty, as well as just through treads. So cleave only bases off of your like attribute bonus damage. So if you have like a Heart of Tarask or something as a strength hero, it's not going to stack with your rapiers. But this is just absurd. Oh, DD, run away.
Well, there should be another tier 2 at the very least. The Shadowblade going was looking for something, but at this point no one at F5 really feeling comfortable going out of the base. They're kind of in a similar position that PR was in the last game, honestly. And if you look at the graphs, it only confirms it's not quite an insurmountable lead though, just yet. But 7.5k in terms of gold as well as experience, but...
Yeah, that is still only like 1.5 big fights, like big fight and a pick-off or something like that, so they're certainly still in the game, but we talked about lacking AoE abilities last game for the side of PR. Of course, they've got it in buckets now, but it's Fantastic Five instead who are lacking in terms of that. They have great initiation when it comes to the lasso as well as the duel, but these are two things that kind of need to be stacked together, I think, in order for it to be successful, and that's only going to be one hero. That hero's got to be goddamn, but he's got the Aegis. Picking off anyone else doesn't really matter in these fights, I don't think. Maybe, of course, the Magnus would be a pretty huge one.
Yep.
All right, getting sneaky. Here we go.
This is what this guy is all about, honestly.
It's all about the angles, man.
I'd find a good one here. Everyone's TPing back to try and defend this. Got them in front lines with the Aegis. Can feel free to hit the tower at his own discretion.
Oh, they scanned over here. Right now. They know there's heroes here. That's actually seems pretty huge.
1, 2, 3. They actually find it with the lasso first here, but I don't know what happened here. But Arise will get brought down. Goddamn. Popped his ultimate here. Still alive. Still right-clicking Vos. Dropping low. Has to get the hell back. Ghostic. Still no issue here. The pounds across. He needs a couple more right clicks, but the Aegis will be triggered by the Firefly. So Vos should be able to make it back to base. Meanwhile, in the back, Bignum, J4, and Cheshire cleaning up the Crystal Maiden. Yeah, Rise ends up being caught, but still doing a bit of damage to the Maiden racks. Not gonna be enough.
Check and drop. It happened. The scan Dota. The scan comes into play in a major way. Alerting them that there are heroes in the area, so the flyover comes to the Batrider.
Yeah.
Finding out a rise. It's just too good.
Oh,
That's
honestly,
great.
it stands to reason that Badwater would have 5-line anyway, right? If you wanted
Hey,
to go on
hey,
goddamn or.
hey.
Alright.
No,
But
don't you do that
it was
to
all
me.
scans,
No,
alright.
no. It's a scan.
It was just a scan. This player brought to you by Scan Gaming. Alright.
Incredible.
So, where does it leave us now? I mean, it was the rise
Aegis
going
is
down,
gone.
but Aegis is gone.
Time
Only
dev
tier
here,
3,
so.
yeah. So, successful defense for F5?
I'd say so. They didn't lose their racks to an Aegis Slark, and I think he was at probably his scariest point that he's going to be at this game, or in this game, really. Like, the next Aegis, again, will be another very scary point, but now they have some time to actually smoke out, maybe get a pick off. Like, of course, it's very difficult up against the Slark. He's one of the hardest heroes to lock down as a Batrider. But he's got the Force Staff, obviously, and so he has lots of range to try and pull him into Ghost Stick if he can. If they get him into that duel, they have that, like, mega combined lockdown to kill the Slark, but now with that BKB, goddamn, going to be even harder to get, like, stunned up or something here, slowed down just by the various heroes to allow that catch to happen in the first place.
And how do you feel about the Abyssal Blade with the changes now, on Slark in particular? I mean, missing out on a lot of damage, but you're gonna get some extra tankiness. How do you think that changes his priorities when it comes to picking up that item?
Oh yeah, this is one of the other ones I have to check out here. So you have to build up the Vanguard now, right? Yeah. So it's Skull Basher, Vanguard, and then there's a recipe. So it's interesting. I think the Basher is still really solid on Slark just because he's also gone for straight up attack speed. This game, I don't think it's the item. I don't think we'll be seeing it. Like, who does he really need to lock down with an Abyssal this game? They're not. No one's really like doppelganging away or blinking away or anything like that. It's mostly just man fights, and you're not going to Abyssal the right Chaos Knight more than likely. If you're fighting Legion Commander, you're probably dueled. Maybe that would be worth it, but I feel like just more. You're right though. It is like the only Slark item that's left in terms of like classic pickups. Maybe he just goes like MKB or something. I don't even know.
Still
No
butterfly.
evasion to worry about though.
Yeah. Echo Saber. That was a big discussion, wasn't it?
That was one that was like it's been thrown around as like a very early game item potentially for the Slark, but at this point, I don't think it's like so cheap and it doesn't build anything else. If it built into Abyssal, that would actually be pretty sick. But from what I understand, it also doesn't stack with Essence Shift. It's kind of odd.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. I feel like it should, right? I mean, if it's a second attack, like a normal attack, but apparently it doesn't count like that. But yeah, we'll find out. Obviously, it still puts your travel to get and stuff like that, and at some point you can upgrade Shadow Blade again or just get rid of it. Take a look at some of the other heroes that we haven't had a chance to here. J4, Spirit Breaker, 03 and 16, so I think it's fair to say that he's had pretty much the impact that they were looking for out of him. 16 out of 19 kills that he was a part of, actually. It's super huge.
Yeah, he's doing a very nice job this game. Obviously, only dying 3 times. Pretty big deal. But he'll have his Vlads. It's standard Spirit Breaker items. He doesn't really need anything, right? Earn, treads. Pretty happy with that. So once the mid game hits, he's kind of fine with being that 5 roll. It's just the early struggle that he hits. And of course, Bignum, one of the best scaling quote unquote support heroes. So there's that scan coming out once more here. So they're going to spot out the side of Fantastic Five, knowing that they're in the area of Roshan, and that timer's coming up soon. So was that track thrown out? It was not. So you'll not going to reveal his positioning here, but it does mean he won't be able to watch the Spirit Breaker and see where he might be charging. And neither team has a great way to keep an eye on Roshan. The best one, I guess, would be Enchantress in terms of throwing some creeps in there. But of course, they're not going to be permanent like a Chen or a Helm of the Dominator.
Those with Manta Style now has also short duration option. So try and easily scout out what's happening more than anything else. He's just sending them to the tower, just casually. Still a tier 1 tower, 35 minutes in the game. That in itself is kind of unheard of these days, it feels like. Now this smoke up. Joshua got also with the blink as well as the Garland Greaves. He bounced back quite nicely after this terrible early game that he had. Now looking for some blood before the next Aegis comes out. Do F5, they don't quite have a scan. It's going to be back in 15 seconds. They should know that something like this is going on. Don't see any of the lanes. Then again, all of those are pushed out. Maybe you can expect them to farm the jungle or anything, but not gonna get caught out either way. Might be just PR, putting on some pressure on all lanes, finding the time until Roshan gets back up. It is actually back.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're in any sort of position here to contest. Of course, you have the Bat Rider, though, so if they can get close enough, the chances there. Ghostsick not nearby. He has his TP, he has his Shadow Blade, he has his Blink. He needs to get going, like, now. Yol.
There's it.
Oh, Slark knows, though. He knows there's either a ward or, I guess... Oh, no, he wouldn't, because he's not revealed. Right. Never mind. dota2. But, alright, so now they've gotten positioning. This is good.
So, what do you think will happen if F5 manages Nagus Roshan? Think they can play a little bit more aggressively here, push down some more of these towers? Do you still think that's gonna be more of a farming item, farming Aegis than anything else?
Probably farming. Like, I think you... Oh, it's kind of hard, right? Havos, obviously, he's kind of one of those heroes that's like, well, if you kill him and he pop Phantasm, then it's like totally fine, I guess, in some ways, but I don't think the Aegis is going to be very good on anyone else.
Okay. A Fantastic 5 now with a better positioning. Kind of secured the general area around the Roche pit. PR, they're waiting for another smoke or something? They have a Tome of Knowledge plus a gem on the courier, so that tends to be helpful. 5 still not going for that. Neither team really has the best Roche lineup. I guess Slark at this point can just brute force it down, but there's no like a lot of minus armor going on, and now they find Yol. Especially a quiet gem, that's gonna be an easy pick. Now looking for more. The charge comes through, keeps an eye onto Ghost despite that invis. Nice little flame here, cancels it out. Immediate buyback, and they do almost catch a Ghost.
Well, they know if they can win this fight, the track's gonna be huge.
They can, they find the real one. Oh, do they though? There's a duel onto Ghostic, Yield Scepter, just stopped some of the damage here. The RP onto 2. Havos and Ghostic dropping low, and they're brought down. Safe from these Z in the backlines. Oh man.
Let it go.
Well, that was more hopeful than anything else. The fight was already over. Give a triple kill over to goddamn. 4 heroes down in total on the side of F5. The courier lift to tell the tale. It's gonna report back, say, hey guys, we're gonna need some buybacks. And BZ heard the call. What can you really do? It doesn't have lasso, it doesn't have anything. Same for Yol, doesn't have high ground defense heroes here. They need a boast, but he doesn't have Phantasm. All he has is the Manta style. They have very little tools available to them right now. On the flip side, there's no vacuum wall, there's no RP either. That might send pause or PR. Just say, alright, okay. Yol needs a juicy target. Easy kills for goddamn, so might as well go for that. Force them back. Get another buyback out. It's alright, at this point it should definitely go away. The Medirect's going down and PR happy with what they got. Can go back to Roshan now, quite easily.
I mean, we talked about the fact that how it's looking right now in terms of obviously this mega net worth on your Slark, almost doubling up of Ost at this rate. The only way that they're going to win these fights and probably win this game is they have to get that initial pick off on the Goddamn. But as he saw in that fight, yeah, he blinks in and Ghost gets the duel on the Goddamn, but what does it matter?
Yep.
I mean, if it's not a lasso pulling him way far away into a duel with like 4 to 5 heroes wailing away on top of him, they're just simply not going to kill Goddamn. And right now he's
at this
like,
point, I feel like Goddamn is almost tanky enough that he can survive a straight up duel up against Ghostic. Even with the blade mail and everything else.
Oh yeah, there's no question. Like, you need so much to kill him.
Yeah. Look at Slark's armor now, right? He's sitting at 17 plus 2. Maybe some extra armor also 17 plus 6 with the Vlads and everything. Of course, also a bit from the Essence Shift, stealing 30 agility, a bit into that. But the point is, he still has a decent amount of armor. With the blade major change, it means that he has a little bit more mitigation. Actually, twice the mitigation that he would have before the change.
What? BCC? He just lasts off the courier.
Okay, Havos.
BCC.
He's going in on the rise. He pops the BKB, pops that ultimate. Now just gonna cleave him down, or at least trying to. He pops the Manta Style. Ghost take hit. He will be brought down. Vacuum back here to bring down Arm and Yol nice and close, so that Goddamn doesn't have to walk too far. And that's a GG come out after the full 5-man wipe. Couldn't even finish Roshan.
I find it satisfying that goddamn also couldn't think of a better item and bought an MKB for no reason. that actually makes me feel much better as an analyst, because frankly I had no idea what the hell he was supposed to buy in a game like this.
Well,
Anyway.
if you're that far ahead, it doesn't really matter all that much.
This was just a very clean plan coming from Power Rangers post, 16 minutes or something?
Yeah.
The Slack started snowballing. He got the massive lead.